joining us now on the MARR Army Rock Show. We have a good friend of the MARR Army Rock Show, and I say that because, I was just reflecting as we're introducing MARR Rocks for MDA 3, Pale Discretion played the very first MARR Rocks for MDA show, and we have Alex Cook with us from Pale Discretion. Alex, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, K-Rock.
Hey, man, and I was just thinking back, on that first MDA benefit we did, and we're eternally grateful for you guys for doing that. And I didn't realize how long it's been since we talked. It's been about 2 years since we talked, so tell me what's going on, man.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. 2 years ago, we started recording the Ophelia album, and let's just say it took a while. We originally recorded it, and we kind of had to do some updates and kind of make things a little bit better sounding, quote unquote. And we're pretty happy with what we got. Took some time, but we finally got it done.
Hey, man, the new album came out great, and I want to ask you a bunch of questions about it. But first, for people that don't know you guys, I love the little history statement you guys have on your website about how you guys started as a B-side project from other bands. Can you tell people about that?
Basically, yeah. I've known the guys for a while. I've known Rob. I played with him probably for, 6 years, and then Mikey, I played with Mikey in past projects, and as well as Joe, and basically, we were kind of like at the end of the ropes, man. It was one of those things where it's like, dude, we keep starting projects and, somebody will drop out and so on and so forth. And then, we kind of just hey, let's just do some no stress stuff and let's just play some of the songs that, never made it in some old projects and just have some fun with it. So, and basically, we started recording a couple of tracks at Joe's house, and after, probably about 6 months, man, we were putting some of the stuff out and getting a great response on it. So it was kind of let's try to take it live, let's play a couple shows and see what's up. And sure enough, man, we got out there, pounded a couple shows out, and, people are really digging it. So it's I guess it's a full band now. So we just kind of just rode with it,
I love the way you guys formed, and that's a very cool background. Now, so let's talk about the new album, man. First of all, I've started working my way through this, and already I identified the one. You picked the right one to put the first music video out for, man. Tell me about Thief. That is a very cool song.
Oh, man, yeah, that's very tight. Actually, oddly enough, that is one that we kind of wrote together. It was a riff that actually I remember I wrote. I was sitting with Rob and we were hanging out, and I was just kind of kept playing this odd time thing, and he's drumming on his lap and everything. And we kind of man, we need to record this. So I whipped out my phone and recorded the riff on my phone, and we took it up to practice next day, and we started just jamming this out. And we must have jammed that first riff for 45 minutes, man. It just had this tight groove to it, man, and vocal melodies and everything that piled on top, and it's the one thing we need is an epic chorus. So kind of dug through the old catalog of riffs and whipped that one out, and sure enough, man, that one turned out great. I'm very happy with that track.
That tune, to me, has a really cool, and I always hesitate to make comparison, but just did remind me, it has a really kind of Alice in Chains meets Soundgarden kind of vibe to it, because I always think your singer sounds a lot like Soundgarden, but it has that feel to it.
Yeah, no, it does. It's we're all huge fan of 90s music, and me personally, man, I'd be the first one to tell you, Alice in Chains, definitely my favorite band. That's my Bible, man. I love Alice in Chains more than anything else in the world, but so yeah, you would definitely catch that strong 90s influence with that. And obviously, yeah, Joe does nod to Chris Cornell. He does have a killer voice, man. So it suits it so perfectly, man. And that's one thing with that record. It really yeah, it took a while to get out, but it came together very well. And I think we were all very happy with it when we finally, wrapped it up and said, this is it, let's put it out.
Hey, so, and I mean this in the best way, too. I think it's really grown since the Red Barrel album. So you guys put out a full 13-song full-length album. Tell me about the growth from the last album that you guys feel, because I feel it, man. The first album was good, but this one is great.
Yeah. The thing is, man, we've always been writing music. We just, that's what we do. We every time we get up to practice, it's Joe will throw out another riff or something like that, and we have some other song that we're working on, and we're always hashing out, and we gotta, like, you know, it's always a pain for us to go back and, you know, play some of the older stuff, and it's like, you know, practices have slowly gotten longer because it's like we gotta keep on playing all this music. And for that record, man, it was kind of like, you know, we started out as a B-side project, but that Aphelion record, it was actually the first time that we've put new music that wasn't B-side project stuff. It was kind of like, all right, you know, we're a band now, so let's write some music, man. Let's do this. And it, you know, after 2 years into working, you know, it finally worked out pretty good.
So there's a music video floating out there now for Steve. Tell us a little bit about the making of that music video.
The music video is, well, we kind of just wanted to do, like, something live. You know, we wanted to, like, show the viewers, hey, like, this is where we play, like, this is what we do, you know, so, like, kind of just show them, yeah, this is our room, this is where, like, the magic happens. And for the first video, it kind of just suited right to, like, let's just do it at home, man. Let's just do it here, you know. Throw up a couple of GoPros and just, you know, try to make it happen. And sure enough, I mean, it took, I don't know, I think we did all the footage in a day or two and just mocked it up together. We used Final Cut. Joe did it on the laptop, all the editing and everything, and there she is, man.
Hey, for a DIY project, man, that came out really, really well. And again, kudos to you on a great tune. So, hey,
appreciate it.
So who's got the huge, I think I asked you this before, but who is like either the poet or got the huge vocabulary in your band? Because I had to look up what the heck an Aphelion was. I didn't even know. and like you guys, the other one you have Circadian and Melody and stuff. Who's got the big vocabulary in the band?
Joe writes most of the lyrics in the song. I do help out with some of that, but like we both kind of like take the lead on that aspect of the band, you know. And as far as the Aphelion thing, I mean, we've always been a big fan of space, you know, like science and stuff like that. And that kind of like shows where like the album artwork comes from. And, you know, well, we got a telescope and everything. We like to check out stars and stuff up here out in the country and everything, so. But
yeah,
definitely Joe.
I feel kind of bad. I had to Google it. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to admit it. I don't know what Aphelion is. I had to go ahead. So, hey, there was a tune that made it on the album that I remember you guys have been playing for a long time, and I want you to tell me about it. That tune, Letters from Home, man. I always liked that tune, and tell me about that tune and the history of it.
Oh, yeah. That was written for my best friend personally, Sean Waters. He was a good friend of the band as well, and he went overseas. I think that was 2 years ago. Well, actually, no, longer than that. It was like 3 years ago. And yeah, so he was over. I believe he was stationed in Kuwait for about a year, you know. And it gets tough, man. You know, your best friend's over there. You don't see him every day. You can't write to him and everything. And that's kind of like where the Letters from Home thing. It's like he can't just pick up his phone and make a phone call back, you know, all the way over here in Maryland. So like to actually write to like, you know, anybody that is overseas, just that little, here you go, man, you know, I'm still thinking about you, that kind of thing, that little letter in the mail, and it goes a long way, and he really appreciates it, and it's more so a message to, like, anybody out there that you may know that's, you know, gone for years at Christ, you know, sacrificing their lives for us, you know, you don't really think about that stuff, but really, I mean, happens all the time, and, you know, just kind of like, that's where that song came about.
Yeah, I was glad that one made it on the record, man, because I've heard you play it live before, and I always thought it was a pretty cool tune. So,
yeah.
Hey, I asked you this before, man. One of the things I really like about you guys, you don't seem to be married to doing the 2-minute 58-second radio hit. You put out a 13-song full-length album with 5-minute tunes, and just tell me a little bit about it. Has ever been a discussion about that, or is that just who you guys are?
It is who we are. It's really hard to chop them down and kind of like, you know, I mean, as far as this new record, we have tried to like cut some of it out because I know Red Barrel had tracks that were like 6-7 minutes. So like okay, we can't make them that long, but let's try to like, you know, trim some of the fat off. But still, they still come out at 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and it's like, jeez. But I mean, you know, I mean, I guess definitely that's just who we are. I mean, we're trying, you know, I'll give you a sneak peek. We're actually recording an EP right now. We're actually doing a 5-song. We just finished up all the drum tracks for it, too. I don't know exactly when we're planning on putting it out, but we're trying to like kind of change in direction, not a lot, but a little bit. You know, you'll notice it's a little bit heavier than what we normally do, and it's kind of like, that's why we've, you know, the past 2 years recording the CD, we kind of just took like a little bit of a break, and we need to like really sit down and focus on our music, our live show. You know, we're really trying to make this the best we possibly can.
Yeah, and by the way, that wasn't a complaint about the length of your songs either. I mean, because one of the cool things about the new album is, you know, there's kind of two kinds of albums that are out there now, and you don't see as many of the kind of like yours now that you can. It's an album you sit down and listen to, if you know what I mean. It's not just background.
Yeah.
Back in the days when I'm an old man, when you could go buy a, you know, vinyl record and just sit and digest the album, and that's kind of how I feel about your guys' music.
That's exactly what we're going for, yeah.
So, hey, you just had a recent big show at Ram's Head, man. Tell me about that thing.
It went great, man. I'd like to thank 24/7 for hooking that up, Kevin Hawk. Yeah, we played, we headlined our first show back. I mean, it was our first show in literally, I think it was a year and 2 weeks. We played one at the circuit back in January of, I think it was 14. But, yeah, it was our first show back, man, and, that definitely set a fire, man. Trust me, we are ready to play. We got a show coming up March 13th at the Fishhead Cantina. But definitely, man, it was great, man. The crowd response and everything. We're actually able to release the hard copies of our album that night. So, I mean, we had plenty of people purchasing, and, you know, I mean, we had T-shirts, the whole nine. I mean, we definitely put in some money to kind of give back to everybody who supported us over the years. And we kind of felt bad taking that year off. But, you know, this year, the years to follow, man, trust me, you'll definitely know who we are, because we're trying to play as much as possible.
Well, man, you guys made a great investment in time, and the new album is called Aphelion. You can pick that up out on iTunes, or better yet, pick it up from the guys at the show. They've got one coming up at Fishhead Cantina. You said the date was March 13th, was that right?
That is correct. Yep, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, Fishhead Cantina. So, hey, Alex Cook from Pale Discretion. Alex, thanks for being here, man. You guys are good friends of the show, and we'll hope when that EP comes out, man, we'll get you back on the show. I want to follow up with you for sure, man.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much, K-Rock.